every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Let Out. We have another great show for you today. Trust me. I want to welcome my co-host Chris and my co-host Alicia. All right. So even though we want short, we got another person that's gonna come in. Not another person. Sylvia is gonna come in a little bit later if she can. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Either way. So we got a couple of topics that we want to talk about. One is we want to talk about Candace Owens. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with her, but she's a person that's probably disliked a lot. She's a Republican, or used to be a Democrat turned Republican, that has a strange way of getting with the people, needless to say. So we want to talk about her. We also want to talk about, you've heard us say or reference stealing mad. We want to really get into what that is and what's the problem with it, and how do we get away from people who do that as far as stealing mad. Then we'll talk about a third topic, should we have time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the good stuff. All right, so Candace Owens. So we talked about this earlier this week. I'm going to try to give the audience a little bit of a preview of her, and I want y'all to let me know if y'all can hear this.
Heavily on my heart. And on my mind as well, and it was something that I wanted to say early on, but there were...
So I'll skip there and get right into her talking.
Okay.
If I can. I don't know what... this is the wrong video. Hold on, let me get to the other one, because they're just showing the George Floyd. But I want to get it to you guys so that you can see her and listen to her speech, if we can get to it. And even if I can find any of her speeches, I think this might be.
I'm sure it's on her
Hello,
her Instagram page, if you're YouTuber.
Family. I have decided to do this video. It has been weighing very heavily on my heart and on my mind as well. And it was something that I wanted to say early on, but there were so many emotions and so much pressure for me to go with a popular opinion about who George Floyd was. And sometimes it can be difficult when there are just so many external pressures to say what you believe. And this was an instance where I felt like my silence would have been better in the beginning, but the more that I think about it, I realize that we are being sold a lot of lies, and at the detriment to the Black community, at the detriment to the white community, and at the detriment to America as a whole. So I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America. I'm going to explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a considerable amount of time reading a lot of Black authors that I think are some of the most brilliant Black Americans breathing. Walter Williams, Shelby Steele, Thomas Sowell, and I recently came across something that was an idea that was planted into my head by Shelby Steele, and it has been something that I cannot forget. It is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And it is something that I hope for the Black Americans that are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life. Shelby Steele said that the Black community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities because we are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now, let me explain what that means. It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You would be hard pressed to find, a Jewish person who has spent 5 stints in prison, who commits a crime and dies while committing a crime, and that the Jewish people champion and demand justice for. You will be hard-pressed to find this in white America. You'll be hard-pressed to find this even in Latino America. If there is a person that is spent multiple times in prison, you are not going to see a bunch of Latinos coming out demanding justice for this person, even if, and I want to be very clear, What I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin gets the justice that he deserves to be, implemented upon him, and that the family of George Floyd deserves justice for the way that he died. But I also am not going to accept the narrative that this is the best the Black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be.
Okay, so for the sake of time, I just kind of wanted to give everybody a briefing on kind of where she's headed and what she kind of stands for, so you can get an idea. All right. So I want to talk to the panel and of co-host and see what your thoughts are on Candace Owens and the things that she stands for, believes in, and specifically, if need be, what she just spoke on there. And I'll take the time because we only have a certain amount of time. I'll go ahead and I'll start with Alicia this time to get your thoughts on it. And I know it's going to be a passionate subject, but let's go. What you got?
She's dangerous. She's dangerous because people who think like her have the same views, also Trump support. Listen to her, and she becomes a Black voice. She becomes a voice for whatever the struggle is, whatever the topic is.
I was gonna let you ride, but you.
I was, but it yeah.
It ain't you. It ain't you.
What?
Okay, you better now.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
Spectrum is trying to work in our service, so we'll
okay.
Hey, well, fuck it. Give it
okay, go ahead, Chris. We'll go ahead, Chris.
And honestly, I know just as much as what I just saw in that clip, and I'm gonna say the reality of it is we don't care what she's talking about. Like, as of right now, you're not a factor. You look like you eat unseasoned food and drink lemon water. So no, I'm not riding with her. And regardless of what she's trying to say, what she's trying to say is George Floyd probably deserved to die because he was a criminal and he had done other crimes in the past. Whatever. That had nothing to do with what was happening in the moment. That man could have been to jail, reformed himself. We don't know that. He could have reformed himself. And now he was on the straight and narrow, and the police come out there and fuck with him for whatever reason. I don't know what it was. Like they said, they said it was about some counterfeit money. That's what they said it was about.
Right, loose cigarettes or something like that. I think.
Some loose cigarettes, some counterfeit money, or whatever it was. Man, that don't deserve none of what he got. Right. It don't matter what he really done in the past. Let's talk about the topic at hand, and that's what I think that she was going for. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw something where she needed somebody to come to her defense. We should have canceled her a long time ago.
NAACP.
Yeah, a long time ago when they came to her defense.
She really giving me Stacey Dash Uncle Ruckus vibes. And although y'all know I'm usually down for the foolery, I ain't for it today.
Right. I got you. Okay, Sylvia.
The thing with what she's trying to say, and what she's actually saying, she can't get a point across of what she's trying to say versus what she's actually saying. I get what she's trying to say, where she say that we're rally behind, we're the ones that, in our community, we're rally behind the ones that, that commit the crime basically and be like, free my homie and your homie and outright kill somebody. That's not this is not the issue. And the reason why people that seemingly are criminals, that we always have to come to their defense, is because they're being stereotyped. They're really not minding their business. It's not even just those that are stereotyped as criminals. It's just Black men, period, that she probably looked at and perceived had some kind of criminal history or whatever, but we're constantly being attacked. Our Black men are being attacked by the police officers, so we're constantly have to go and speak out and fight for them. And so if you think that because you give this narrative that they have this record that we're not going to stand up for our Black men when they're being attacked and killed unnecessarily, by law enforcement, then baby, you need to go pay that much attention to them split ends on that bad hair that you got. It's supposed to, and your head looking a hot mess, and them ends hella split. Put all that energy to your head, and maybe it'll look like something. So she could go ahead on with that. What she's trying to say and what she's actually saying, no, sis, you way off base, way off.
All right, Alicia, you're back now. Let's
All
go.
right.
All right, try it
What
again.
I'm trying to talk real fast.
Okay.
She was born in Connecticut. I mean, what you expect?
It's seasonless meat. Go
Hey,
ahead.
We're not giving excuses, Chris. I don't care where you're from.
I'm just saying. Hey, I ain't
And
even,
I'm just saying too.
what you say? What are you saying?
Nothing.
I'm saying it don't matter. It don't matter where the hell. Y'all can hear me?
We can, but you ain't going nowhere.
Ah.
You just saying nothing and stopping.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
What's
Give us
up?
what you
No,
got.
I'm saying we're not going to go ahead and give her a free pass because she's from Connecticut. I don't care. It's a hood there, and there's black people there too. The whole point of her saying that she doesn't support him, why even start the message off with that? It's like giving somebody a compliment and then actually at the same time going ahead and giving a dig too. You cute for a fat girl. You cute for a dark-skinned girl. Like it was a conundrum. It completely canceled out everything that she said. Bringing
Like
up,
that word.
yeah.
Hello.
There was no reason to bring up his criminal past. We all have a past. Last time I checked, you are so messy. We all have a past though. And my understanding was that America was the opportunity for second chances. So in his death, why even highlight or do what already the media does and for white America who does not support us does and
Right.
bring up his history to go ahead and to validate the reason that he's dead.
Right.
There was no reason for that. I didn't even see it in the media. I heard it from a black woman bringing up his criminal past and his history. So to bring that up and then to say that he won't be a martyr, I don't think that anyone is saying that he's a hero or that he's a martyr or that he did anything special necessarily. But what we are saying is that his death won't be in vain, that this is it. There won't be any more if we can go ahead and to stop it. Because this was one of the most heinous deaths that we witnessed on video of watching somebody for 8 minutes and 46 seconds to sit on somebody and to smother them and suffocate them to death.
And honestly, I'm gonna say this, and I'm just really piggybacking off what you're saying. I think the difference about this one is it wasn't a quick, in the moment, shots fired type situation. Nigga,
Right.
9 minutes you sat there and thought about that one.
Oh, you ain't care.
It wasn't even like you weren't thinking. Like, I'm telling you what you're doing. And you like, nigga,
Whatever.
I know.
Right.
So,
And I don't think that, and I do agree with Sylvia as far as like sometimes you see Free Ray, he killed 6 people. That's not what we're talking about though. And I don't think that I've seen any protest behind anybody even like that. I have not seen it.
it's still free Bill Cosby.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But in your mind,
I haven't had a
in your
process.
mind, when black men are already criminals and thugs, and you already have these preconceived notions, these prejudices behind them, then you go digging to find any reason from their past. Well, when he was 5, he had a joint in his pocket. Like, what the fuck? Why does that even matter? Or instead of finding a nice picture of them where they're dressed up in a suit, you want to go ahead and try to scroll through and find the one where it looked like he throwing up a gang sign or somebody got a gun in the background. Like, and for somebody that looks like us to be the catalyst for that type of movement, for that kind of rhetoric, is dangerous. When I was on social media this week, I saw a lot of people quoting her, a lot of white people quoting her to be exact. And they were using her words against me or against us. And saying, look, even a black person thinks this. And they were saying that she was a civilized person, or they liked that she wasn't trying to be a victim, when she herself had a civil rights case some years ago where she needed the NAACP to go ahead and help her out, but she denounces the black experience and makes it sound like it does not exist. There isn't racism, there isn't systemic prejudice and things already set up in the system to go ahead and to oppress people of color. Like, to have that coming from the mouth of somebody who looks like us when we are out here trying to protest and to go ahead and make changes, it is dangerous and it's counteractive to everything that we're trying to do and what she called herself trying to speak about.
She contradicted herself in saying it then. So what was your whole point of having the NAACP stand on your behalf or speak on your behalf?
Because it's selfishness. The world revolves around me. And this is an opportunity for her to go ahead and to benefit from it. And then to act like it does not exist when you yourself were just there.
Right.
She has a black father. She may have black brothers or cousins or something. This is dangerous. And until it hits at her front door, which it could, she won't understand.
Right. I want to know what Will's thoughts are on this.
My thoughts are they're both way.
The great people on both sides.
Well, it's
thugs and then fine people.
Well, no, it's to be honest with you, I totally understand where she's coming from.
You totally understand?
Totally understand where she's coming from. Now, whether there's a contradiction, whether there's some level of hypocrisy there, that's a debate. But I've watched her and I've watched several of her videos and I've watched what she stands for, what her whole purpose is, what she does. All right. I think in looking at her mission and what she talks about, I can say I largely agree with what she's trying to say in that sense. The George Floyd thing, I still understand where she's going with it. Now, it's back to what you guys say, and that's why I say I see both sides. It tips a little to your side because, yes, I do see where coming from a black person, you could say this, but sometimes coming from a black person is the way that, now timing is off, but coming from a black person is the best way for us to sometimes hear, even though we don't want to hear it.
What's the best to hear?
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
The truth. So when somebody is telling you the truth about certain things, we are. Now, again, George Floyd's situation is a little bit different, but the fact that she said that we are the only culture that does the things that she said that we do, she is 100% on dime. Now,
that's why I could get what she's trying to say, but she going about it the wrong way.
That's what I'm saying. It's just timing. Because to be honest with you, had she said this, which she probably has, but we're just the highlight is on it now. I understand where she's coming from. She's if you really listen to her 100%, listen to her, you'll understand that she's actually for the empowerment of black people. If you,
but you know what though, my thing is that some things that go on in my household, it needs to stay in the house. Meaning that if I'm talking to members of my family, I'm direct. I mean, she needs to figure it out. She knows that her audience is mostly white and made of white people. What is your message to them?
Is it?
I don't hear her saying, yes, it is. That's her fan base. And she's a Trump supporter.
Hold up. The four of us, along with other people, now know who she is.
Are now white people.
We weren't her audience, though. We weren't her audience. I ain't know nothing about it until 5 minutes ago.
Wait a minute.
But you know, right?
What has happened is what she started out as being her mission with trying to open the eyes of her people has worked against her. So
because we don't want to listen.
It's not, but and so now white people have used very words against us. So what now? So now what you have tried to take it and empower is turned around and use against you. So instead of you trying to redirect or have somebody to help you redirect so that you can get your message across, now you've turned to the enemy, and now it's like you're their alliance and they're welcoming you in, and you're falling for it.
But you got to understand, if President Kennedy signed a bill to, or Lyndon B. Johnson signed a bill for the desegregation of schools, and black people get into schools and do something wrong, it's going to be used against him. Or if they do something to him, white people are going to say that's used against you. When you look at it, there's nothing that she can say that's truthful that white people are not going to use. That's what they're going to do.
But you will. There are things about my dad that I know that is truthful to people, okay? That people know about him, right? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we could talk about it. However, what I'm not going to allow you to do is to keep using it against him and keep using it to hold him down.
That's your dad.
I don't, but that's just like even for you or Chris.
Right, like, because you know us.
But I'm not exactly, but y'all my people. I'm
not we family.
Culture. I'm not about to let another culture use what it is about.
I don't think that
about black people.
You can't worry about that. With the mission at hand, Sylvia, with a mission at hand, there's going to be casualties. Understand that.
Point me in the direction of a video where she's defended us or defended y'all as black men.
I got you. I'll send you one when we get off. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. No, I'm dead serious. So basically,
but do you understand that there's a difference between empowering and belittling? In that video that you just saw, some of her other ones, what I saw, no, it was belittling. There was nothing that made me feel empowered or, man, I really want to change, or I really want to go ahead and to be the voice to continue to help to change the people. I've never watched anything that she had, and I'm one that is okay with critique and going ahead and you pointing out and calling shit as it is.
So I got a question for you. I got a question for you. If you have a cousin and the cousin is getting her ass whooped by her husband, cousin's getting her ass whooped by her husband and keeps going back, you're gonna say at some point, excuse me,
I'm out of it.
Girl, you gotta leave him. After about 5 times that she don't leave him, guess what you feel like she gonna understand? Girl, you dumb as fuck. You need to leave him and stop being so fucking stupid. You know why? Because at that point, now you feel like only thing that she understands is that
she has done nothing to help our community. I don't care what kind of different scenarios. Yes, we are. What has she pointed out? What does she help? What? Send me the data. Send me the example. Send me the people that are saying, man, she changed my life with her speech.
You know me, don't you? So you know it's coming. So what I'm telling you is, it's coming.
Send it in real time.
What I'm telling you, no, I can't send it in real time because we ain't got that much time on Zoom. However, I will say this. When you think about it, sometimes tough love is the love that gets shit done. Now, I'm not saying she's 100% right. I'm right. I'm just saying I see it. If you look at it unknowingly and subconsciously, Charlamagne and Diddy agree with her that we have been fooled for too long for a lot of different shit simply because of how we are as a people and what we believe in as a people. We are born into being Democrats. That's first and foremost. We are born into it just because we see like that's supposed to be what we do. What she is teaching is that you don't have to be a Democrat just because you're poor or just because your relatives do or just because you were brought up in it. What she's saying is understand that it's time for black people to exit the left side of the nominee.
Oh, you saying to go to the far right?
No, she's saying the right. They call them right. You know they call them right and left in politics. So what she's saying is go from Democrat to Republican.
So she's saying support a clown that hates you and your people and anybody that looks like you.
No, what she's saying and what I challenge you guys to do, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but what I challenge you to do as African Americans is I challenge you to go in and look at what Obama did for African Americans and what Trump is doing for African Americans. That's the only way you're going to get your answer. You can't get your answer from videos that you've seen prior to this one. You can't get your answers from T.I. You can't get your answers from Killer Mike. You have to get your answers on your own. Go and do the research and find out.
What has Trump done? He went ahead and rode the wave of stuff that Obama had already started. The economy was already getting better when he went into the office. So don't sit here and try to play like he's the fucking black savior because he is not.
I'm not saying that.
We're not going to do that.
What I'm saying is do your research. I'm not saying that he did. I'm not saying if he did or didn't.
I do mine. So you call somebody else out to
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is do your research. I'm talking to you now, but I'm talking to everybody on the forum. What I'm saying is I'm talking to everybody on the forum.
Okay, but we
talking to me. You miss me with that.
Man,
okay, so what did Obama do? Researching.
I didn't say he did anything
Okay,
either
then.
explicitly.
No,
I'm saying that he did go ahead and he went ahead and still got the economy activated as far as jobs were concerned. Did I say he did anything specially or specific for Black people?
But you
No,
just asked me
I
what
did
Trump
not.
did for Black people, like you knew that he
What?
didn't do it. And
Other
nobody
than he
did.
already riding a wave that somebody else started, what has he done?
I want to steal your man.
Well, I want to say, I really want to interject this.
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting, but go ahead.
No, I was waiting for you.
No, I asked the question first. Go ahead.
But here's my thing also. If you want to get your message to people, you cannot put your message out there and assume that everybody's on your level. You have to meet people where they are if you want to get them to understand. And let me say this, and the mass people that she's trying to get to don't understand stuff on her level. So in order to be an effective leader or an effective communicator, you have to be able to relate to people on a level that may be below yours. Right now,
agree with that? Who agrees with that?
Effectively communicating her point.
Who else agrees with that?
I agree with that.
You agree with that?
You do have to be able to communicate to your
You
target
agree with
audience.
that? Yes or no?
Communicate to your target audience.
You got the long-winded face on. Yes or no?
I mean, I don't think that she is necessarily on any particular.
Hey, yo.
No, I'm gonna say what I'm saying.
Yo.
I don't think that Candace Owens what?
Go ahead.
Shit. I don't think that she's on any particular level. I don't think she has any more intellect than anybody else does. I think that it's a difference in talking to people and at people and about people. And her message comes across condescending.
Okay.
It comes across as I am better than. And you also I don't think you have to come down to people's level, but you have to be able to relate to people. And you can still encourage and build people up and still give tough love at the same time.
But it comes down to communication. And if you can't communicate to me on my level of understanding of what you're trying to communicate to me, I'm not going to get it. I'm still going to get it as condescending. I'm still going to get it as you think you better than me. Whether you've been through what I've been through or you fully understand my struggle or not. If you can't effectively communicate to me on a level where I can understand what I'm not going to get it. Like, somebody was trying to face that. Go ahead, decline her real quick. I'm sorry.
Are you good?
But like seriously, and so because like I said, at the beginning of her video when she talked about the different communities that how they support, right. I was like, right. Point. You have a point. I couldn't take that away from her because she made a valid point.
No, she got several of them. But like, no, she has so many. But no, I think I like I said, I agree with you guys to a certain degree. But I also see a great deal of where she's going and where she's coming from.
But when you have when you've been so disconnected from your people and from your community, and you no longer have to speak to the people to get them to listen, then there is a motherfucking problem. And she needs to address it and fix it and to understand she no longer relates to her people. You can look at her motherfucking page and see that there is a complete disconnect and that she does not seem to be around Black people.
I think that's
no.
I think that's because, to be honest with you, none of us relate. Like that's what we're saying.
No, we can't relate to her anymore. I think that she's been so removed from Black people and her experience, then you can't speak on it no more.
That's what I'm saying. But she has no choice.
No, as a choice, Will, you can be able to be around other people and other cultures and still relate to your own. That's bullshit. That comes.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we won't. Like the way that y'all feel about her, thousands of other people that she's probably tried to befriend probably feel the same way.
Because Will, she is communication. Is how you come across.
Gotcha.
Like Alicia said.
Well, hold on, chill out, because I want to steal y'all mad. I'm with Chris.
Yeah.
Let's steal some of that mad.
Oh, I'm not mad, but I'm trying to get you to understand.
I'm mad.
No, I'm not mad.
We know.
I get what you're saying.
We know why she ain't mad.
In order for us, meaning Black people that don't see it or can see past what the initial thing that come out of her mouth, you have to break it down where they can understand. You have to meet people where they are. And that's just in general in life. Everybody is not going to be where you want them to be. And if you can't meet people where they are to get them to move ahead, you're going to always have resistance.
Hey man,
you can't.
Get in the car and get ran over. So look, check this out. I'm just saying. Don't be trying to get nobody, I ain't finna meet you halfway every damn well. We adults. But I get it, everybody. Go ahead. You said something, Chris?
But that's just like having kids. You can't expect your kids to understand stuff from you on an adult level. You have to meet them where they are in order for them to understand what you're trying to say. They're not going to
sometimes you gotta whoop their ass for them to understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying that she needs to dumb down her message. I'm not saying that by any means necessary. I am saying that she needs to change the way in which she speaks at people. Okay. If it's in a demeaning way, no one is going to go ahead and to listen to that. Right. Are we okay with you calling us out on our shit?
We're gonna move to the next
we are. Yeah, whatever.
Okay. All right, what I just did was I took away some of the mad. I didn't steal it. Now, what I want to talk about is emotion stealers. Bring the camera back. There you go. I want to talk about stealing mad. Y'all heard us talk about that on several occasions, and we want to talk about pretty much what that means. We want to get into it and find out certain things. And people will probably hate me after this, but we're going to talk about stealing mad. So what I want to know is, okay, I want to give an example, I guess, is I call them mood stealers at this point, because not only do you don't have to just steal mad. You could try to steal somebody's happiness. I mean, you could steal somebody's, sad, whatever you want to call it. But it's irritating sometimes when I think certain people, certain cultures steal other people's issues and problems and things like that. There's a difference between feeling somebody's pain or empathizing than just taking somebody's whole situation and making it your own so you can have a reason to feel mad. I'll give you an example. And you probably hate this. So if me and Sylvia are in an argument and Sylvia gets mad, she said, Will, you talked over me on the podcast. I don't like this shit. And and she's mad and she has legitimate reason to be mad. And then I say, well, how the fuck you gonna get mad? Hell, if I get mad and take her, like, that's her moment. Why did I steal her moment? Why did I take her mad? Or when what was that situation where we really first talked about this?
We don't want to own no child shit, so we steal somebody mad.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, and then the other thing I think we were talking about, what was we talking about, Chris? Where we said that black people were stealing mad. Yeah. I think it was the Mexicans or something when they was the wall. When he was talking about building the wall, we was getting pissed off.
So much shit.
And Donald Trump, he was talking to all Mexicans. He was just talking bad about Mexicans, talking about building the wall, talking about he ain't like them. And we started talking about racist motherfucker. He don't like blacks no way. Blah, blah, blah. They ain't saying shit about black people. Quit going in there stealing these folk, man. Let them Mexicans be mad for a change.
Check this out. So I'm friends with a lady. I met her daughter in Chelsea, where they wasn't dancing on like the same thing or whatever, but through conventions, she and I ended up becoming friends. And so she's Jewish. And so she has an uncle, and she, was making a post. I don't remember what the post was about.
You say she an uncle?
Yeah, it's an older uncle. They're Jewish.
Oh, so okay, I got you. I thought she said she an uncle. I was like, damn.
No, as an uncle. So
she stole somebody's gender.
I don't remember exactly what it was that she had posted, but the first thing he posted on it, I think it was about, her being Jewish or whatever. And the first thing that it was some college girls who had posted where they had made swastikas, like tattoos on there, like they drew them on their arms or whatever. And, and she was talking about, how it affects them as, in the Jewish community or whatever. And so her uncle gets on the post to respond. And the first thing he says is, I'm sick of Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. What, nigga? Okay, yeah. I ended up texting her to apologize because I didn't mean to go there. But I was like, first of all, why did you even have to bring this up in here? Because she wasn't even talking about Black Lives Matter. She was talking about and with the Jew. Yeah, but I had to go in on his ass. I was like, bro, don't do us. Like, don't do that shit.
You shouldn't apologize.
Yeah, but she was like, nah, she like we're out of eye. Like, I feel
she be so mad.
And she was like, you know, I stand with you with the Black Lives Matter, but she was like, get his ass. She was like, the only reason why I won't get his ass because he got one foot out the grave and I won't be able to sleep tonight. But that was just like, you know, I'm like, damn.
Oh man, hey man, it's something else, man. Women do it all the time though. You can
Will,
What?
really? Really?
No, y'all do. Y'all be stealing. Y'all steal emotions like a motherfucker. Like for real.
Y'all asses do.
Nah, for real. Like y'all can't. Like if a best friend do something, like you feel, girl, I feel your pain. No, you don't. You ain't been through that shit. Stop trying to steal that woman. Let her be depressed. Can she be depressed on her own? Girl, I remember when she done lost a whole mama and father. You like, yeah, I kind of felt like that when my dog died. No, look, dog.
Don't stop making this shit about you, man.
She's not the same, dog.
So how do y'all handle that shit then?
What you mean? Talking about how you handle if like a friend? You mean like if a friend says something's wrong?
Motherfucking scenario, how you handle it?
Be like,
damn. Be like, yeah. And be like, man, that's fucked up, dog. I can't. Hey, man, I ain't never been through it. I ain't never been through it, boss. So I mean, all I can say is I'm here for you. Hey, man, the shoulders, whatever you need, homie. That's it.
You don't do that as women?
No, y'all might do it. Y'all might do it.
Y'all try to relate to everything.
For the most, facts.
That's comforting to us. It's comforting for me to say, you know what, I relate. I've been there before.
To share their emotions, like so it ain't stealing and sharing.
You might not have had that experience before. You'll make up some shit.
And then if you don't, then you don't have to say it. You just go ahead and say, I'm so
y'all
sorry. I empathize
What they do is, and tell me I'm lying, they start channeling other shit.
What?
You start channeling other shit that made you sad.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
How they do.
Because we're trying to show you that we empathize with you. We ain't trying to steal your goddamn.
Now empathize with me. Just don't my thunder. Can I have that though? Like this.
Oh my God.
This is my thunder. Stop stealing my emotion. This is my cry. This is my cry. Let me cry. You don't cry with me. Don't cry with me.
Oh, it's an example. Damn, ain't nobody.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you. Even Jodeci said, "I will cry for you." He didn't say, "I will cry with you." Four. Men don't do that shit.
You talking about a couple of crackheads?
Hey, you ever seen Kiki Wyatt sing with somebody? That motherfucker stealing mad. Do you hear me? She is stealing them. That is the story. That is the story of how women are. Y'all do that in every category.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Look, female. Look, that's why y'all. I'm gonna tell you that y'all some thieves. That's why y'all call first. Hey, girl, what you wearing?
Yeah,
look, so I can look better.
We do that because we're trying to get an idea of what
how to look better. Like you ain't finna outdo me. You ain't finna steal my
I'm sorry,
thunder.
Sylvia. He accurate on that one right there. Like,
you like that?
No, but I've gotten a phone call and a text message before. You already know what it is.
Hey, that's messed up.
All right, guys, it's been great. I want to thank everybody for joining. Sorry we had to cut off a little bit early, but Zoom happens. I want everybody to like, comment, and subscribe. Please go to our YouTube channel. Follow us on _the_let_out_. Get all of the latest content. And again, we appreciate your time. Catch us on your next video. Peace out. Mad ass Alicia.
Every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.